This short 30-minute video will provide you with an overview of the annotation features found on the new version of Quickscribe Online 2.0, which was launched in August of 2014. If you would like to learn about any of the other features available on Quickscribe, such as basic navigation or how to set up customizable alerts that will track changes to laws of your choosing, there are a number of other videos available within the Quickscribe Help menu, located on the top menu bar when you first log into the site. So let's start by defining what we mean by annotations. Traditionally, an annotated law will include information about an application and intent behind the sections in a law. While annotations on Quickscribe do include these types of annotations, we have broadened the definition to also include references to recent or upcoming changes, relevant or historical case law or decisions with the links to the cases, high-level research-oriented discussions and inquiries, references to policies and white papers. By broadening the definition of an annotation, we can deliver a more dynamic, flexible, and relevant research tool that will evolve over time as laws change. We have also introduced a number of different classifications of annotations. For example, at any time from any section or law, you now have the ability to post and save a note as a private annotation. These personal annotations might be in reference to a recent or a historical case, or simply a reminder of an upcoming important change to a particular section. Your private annotation might include a link to another law, or basically any information that will be of value to you the next time you visit these sections. It's important to note that you own the rights to these annotations. That means you can export them, you can delete them at any time. These are fully encrypted, so nobody can view them except for yourself, not even our staff. The next classification of annotation is the organizational annotation, which is ideal for organizations that have more than one individual referencing legislation. Rather than saving your note as a private annotation, you can save it as an organizational annotation, which makes it visible to others in your account. We've been told by our clients that these organizational annotations are quickly becoming an integral part of their internal discussions and collaboration on the laws that matter most to each group. Like private annotations, these are fully encrypted. Over time, as individuals post organizational annotations to the site, they are in fact contributing to the knowledge management of your organization. An individual, for example, can publish an annotation, save it as an organizational annotation, and these organizational annotations can be replied to. There can be questions posed. You can share these annotations with other colleagues so long as they reside in the account. And you can also follow individuals, receive notification when individuals in your group post annotations. So there's a collaboration component built in. While not all of our clients may take advantage of the private and organizational annotation features, most will definitely benefit from the annotations contributed by our expert annotators. Quickscribe has hand-selected dozens of experienced and well-respected legal professionals who will be contributing ongoing, timely annotations for the benefit of all of our users. Our growing list of expert annotators provide invaluable information about recent cases, decisions, and interpretation pertaining to a particular area of law. Quickscribe expert annotators are identified by the star icon adjacent to each section being annotated. For a list of current contributors, simply go to quickscribe.bc.ca/annotations and click on the Meet the Experts link. The fourth and final classification of annotation is the Quickscribe community annotation. Saving your annotation as a Quickscribe community or public annotation is a great way to share and contribute to the ever-growing collaborative knowledge base that comprises all users. For example, your research may have uncovered a valuable tip or reference to a case that might be of interest to others using Quickscribe. Other users may want to initiate discussions relating to the interpretation of a vague reference in a proposed law. Some of our larger clients, such as ministries, might use this feature to provide clarification on certain items for various stakeholders. These are made public not just to our own clients, but to the public as well. The Quickscribe community annotations are intended to facilitate this type of discussion for the benefit of all users. All Quickscribe community annotations are moderated and reviewed prior to publishing, and this feature is turned off by default for some of the larger organizations. So now we've gone ahead and we've published a variety of different annotation types throughout the site. Now what? If you or your colleagues don't happen to reference these annotated sections on a regular basis, isn't it kind of counterproductive to publish time-sensitive annotations to a section that doesn't get referenced? So we've built in a number of communication tools that allow you to keep informed about annotations that matter most to you. For example, you can go to any law and choose to be notified whenever a new annotation is posted anywhere on that law. You can also filter this alert so that you can only get notified when a colleague of yours posts an annotation, or alternatively, when one of our experts posts an annotation to this law. You can even follow individuals, experts, or colleagues, such that whenever an individual posts an annotation, you will receive a detailed notification about the annotation via email. It is this particular component that is designed to facilitate the collaboration and communication and awareness of relevant information pertaining to the laws that matter most to you. Before I demonstrate how these features work, it is important to understand that you will need to create a personal password and a username in order to take advantage of any of these and other new features on the site. Our system basically needs to know who you are before it allows you to receive notification or post annotations. The setup is easy and it's free, but the means by which you create your password will differ depending on how you currently access Quickscribe. There are basically two different ways you can access Quickscribe. About half our clients access Quickscribe through a username and password authentication. For these clients, you simply need to plug in your original username and password, and you will be prompted to create a new personal username and password via the Account Upgrade Wizard. You need only to do this once, and you will use your new username, which will be your email address, and password the next time you log in. Many of our larger clients access Quickscribe through an IP pass-through, which basically means that you automatically gain access to Quickscribe via quickscribe.bc.ca/login.html link, or for some of our ministries, there is an intranet link set up by your administrator that you would use. For all of our IP users, you can create an account via the Create Account button shown here. As an IP user, once you create a password, you will still continue to be able to access the Quickscribe site automatically as you have in the past. However, you now have the option to log into a second level whenever you want to take advantage of the new annotation features via the login to your personal annotations account shown here. For the purpose of this demonstration, I'm going to take you to a fake site, so please don't be alarmed if you happen to see legislative content that doesn't look right to you. Okay, now that you've logged in using your new username, which will be your email address, and your new password, you're not going to notice too many changes with the interface here. However, you've now unlocked a number of features that are available to you. You can also see that you're logged in because your username is displayed at the top. I'm going to go to the Motor Vehicle Act as an example on how to post and view annotations. As I scroll through the table of contents, I will see what sections have been annotated and the types of annotations that have been made. In this case, there have been a number of annotations posted to Section 158. Anywhere in the legislation that you see these pencil icons, that's where you can click on and create an annotation. And these pencil icons are available on sections, divisions, they're available on bills, orders in council. Anywhere you see a pencil icon, you simply select it and create an annotation by selecting Add Annotation. The default is always set to private, so you can't mistakenly publish an annotation and make it visible to others in your organization or the Quickscribe community. So in this case, I'm going to create myself a note, and I'm going to create a link. You can create links to other sections of laws or other websites or cases. You can upload documents. And in this case, I'm going to create a link. And I'm going to create a link to, in this case, a CBC article. So I'm going to create the title of what the link is and the URL. If it is a case that you're referencing in the link, then you can identify it as such by selecting the link as a case law or tribunal decision. I select submit. Now I haven't published this annotation yet. I've simply created one link. You can add multiple links. I can create links to other sections in laws. So for example, in this case, I'm going to create a link to a section of the Forest Act, Section 5, from this annotation window. I select the fact that it's an act, and then the title of the act that I'm linking to. It starts building the list for me, and then if I want to select a specific section, in this case Section 5, I can link to it from here. You also have the ability to get notified when Section 5 that you're linking to is amended. And that will come in handy, obviously, if your annotation references Section 5 and Section 5 gets changed, you probably want to get notified so you can update your annotation. And this is true with the original annotation. So let's say, for example, this new annotation that I'm creating here doesn't include any links, but the section that I'm annotating does get amended. I'm going to automatically receive an alert from Quickscribe telling me that the section I annotated has been amended. Here's what I wrote in my annotation. Here's what the amendment is. With one click, I can go in and edit and update my annotation. So this will ensure the integrity of these annotations over time, whether it be the links that you're creating and the sections that you're linking to, or the actual annotation section itself. So I'm going to click Submit. Again, you can upload little PDF files. For security, it has to be a PDF file, but they have to be less than 2 megs in size, but you can add a document to accompany your annotation as well. So I'm going to click the Post button here. So in this case, we've tried to distinguish the different types of annotations that have been posted to this section. In this case, there's only one annotation. It happens to be my own, and I am Susan Wilson, by the way, in this demonstration. So we've got the information here. Remember, you own the rights to these annotations, so you can edit and delete these at any time. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to just show you where I've posted it. I've closed out of that window that just overlapped. I'm just going to scroll down slightly and it'll show me the annotation that I just posted, the private annotation in red. So I'm going to look at another section here that does have some activity. So there are some annotations that have been posted to section 158B. I'm going to click the pencil icon, and I can see a summary of the different types of annotations that have been posted, when they were last published, when they were edited. Have there been replies to some of these annotations? Obviously, people can't reply to my private annotations because they can't see them, but you can reply to other types of annotations. Just as an aside, even if you're not making use of these annotation features, we have a new feature here that will allow you to email a client or a colleague the section of legislation. This has nothing to do with annotations, but it's very easy now to select the pencil icon, email section, type in the email address of the individual you want to send this to, and a short message. And share. Now, what's nice about this is it's very simple. It's a very clean format on the other end. It's just the legislation, so it's the section that I've selected in every section that falls under that. And it comes from you. It comes from Susan Wilson at pf.com, not from Quickscribe. So it's a very simple way to email someone a section using these new features. But I'm going to go get into the actual annotations that have been posted on this particular section. I'm going to view and participate here. And again, you'll see this familiar tab structure that we've assigned at the top. So you can see all the private annotations that have been posted to this section, the expert ones, any annotations that I've published on here, including the private or organizational one. I'm going to go down to the organizational one just to show you how this works. So I've got Mark Hamilton here. Mark works at my firm, and he's posed a question to his to the group. And you can tell that when it was posted, when it was last edited. You can also see that there's been responses down here. So I'm going to load these responses, and it happens to be that I responded to Mark and provided some supplementary information to the inquiry that he had posted to his group. Whenever I reply, by clicking the reply button here, Mark is automatically going to receive notification of my response. So there's a communication component that's built into this. Otherwise, Mark will never know if there's any responses that have been published to his original annotation. I can also share this. Let's say I've got some colleagues that don't go in and create annotations, but there's some really valuable information here regarding a policy that relates to my area of interest, and Mark has posted this and I want to share it. Well, because he's posted this as an organizational annotation, I can only share this with others in my organization. It'll come encrypted so that only those in the organization will be able to view the actual content. So security is a very key component to this service. So I'm going to select with others in my organization. Now, as others in your organization upgrade and create a username and password, their names will become visible here. So it'll be very easy for me to select the individuals I want to share this annotation with. And this is a very important point, because this is why it's important for you to get your colleagues to the very least create a username and password, so you have the option to send them information. So that is why it's important to create a username and password for the purpose of these annotations, these organizational annotations, and sharing them with your colleagues. Otherwise, their names won't appear here, and you don't have the option to send it. So you can send the annotation with a short message very securely. So at any time, whenever you're viewing an annotation, you can follow users as well. So I can click the follow user here, and because the system, I'm logged in, it knows who I am, I simply select the follow user. I can start following Mark such that whenever Mark posts an annotation, I will receive a notification with the annotation that he posted. So it's keeping me in touch with what's going on legislatively, and whenever my colleagues are posting information, I'm getting notified of that. And you can do this for experts as well, not just colleagues. So I'm going to scroll up to the very top here, and I've also got an expert annotation. And as mentioned, we have at least 24 expert annotators that are contributing content to our site, and more are coming on board all the time. Again, we just launched this in August, so we do anticipate bringing on board at least a few dozen more within the next year or so. And they do focus in on specific areas of law that where their expertise lie. So we've got Eric McGracken, and he's posted a very short annotation. This is just a small example. He says a roadway does not include the shoulder of a road and references a case. And again, I can follow Eric if I'd like to by selecting the follow Eric button. And when you're creating your username and password, by the way, you might recall you have the option to go in and create a biography for yourself. You can upload a photo, you can create a link, but essentially that will identify you. Your name is going to be on there for your colleagues, and you can do that through your My account after you've created username and password if you'd like as well, and I'll get into that in a moment. So here we have annotations posted to various sections. But what if I want to view all the annotations that have been published on a particular app? At the very top of the screen, you'll see View Annotations for this law. And so this will include all the annotations that have been published throughout the Motor Vehicle Act, and all the most recent annotations are published at the top. I can quickly go to the organizational annotations that have been published on here, or simply the expert annotations. Again, remember, this is a fake site, so our real site does have quite a few more annotations on the Motor Vehicle Act and others, but this is just providing you with an example. Another great option is being able to get notified when new annotations are posted either by colleagues or by experts on the laws that matter most to you. At the very top menu bar, you can follow annotations for this law. You can get notified whenever annotations are posted for specific sections or parts, or in this case I'm going to select any section in this law that gets annotated. Please send me a notification to tell me what the annotation is, when it was posted, who published it. You also have the ability to filter these annotations so that you can restrict it to just the expert annotations, or restrict it to just others in your organization. So anytime an annotation is posted to any of these sections, you'll receive a notification with a reference to the actual annotation in the email. So now you know how to publish annotations, how to share them, how to follow individuals, how to set up alerts for new annotations. But how do you manage all this information? Simply go to My Account on the top menu bar. And this is where you can go in and manage your profile, manage your alerts, annotations, etc. So at the very bottom, you'll see all of your annotations that you've published. You can edit and delete these at any time. You can see all the users you're following. At any time you can unfollow these users, such that you don't receive any notification whenever they post annotations to the site. And you can do this from the email itself as well. These are threads you're following, so pieces of legislation that you have identified as being important to you, such that you receive notifications when new annotations are published. This is where you would go and manage that. We also have a My Amendments section. You may have noticed these little tracking icons that are scattered throughout on the table of contents. I'll just go to the More Vehicle Act to show you. This is a new feature that we've added that will allow you to track amendments to specific sections and parts of legislation. We have a number of great alerts at the very top that you can sign up to if you want to receive notification for amendments to, or changes to legislation on the act or regulation level. But for specific sections and for federal legislation, go in and select these tracking icons, and it again will identify you as a user because you're logged in, and will ask, do you want to receive notification when these sections are to manage this and other alerts? You go to My Account and select My Amendments, and you can stop tracking all the sections for the various pieces of legislation you're tracking. And these are documents that you've uploaded. Bottom line is the My Account is where you go to manage any information with respect to your alerts or annotations or profile. And finally, I'll draw your attention to the Annotations page. This page provides you with a review of the types of annotations that can be published. It also provides you with a link to all the legal professionals who are providing content on our site on a daily basis. More importantly, this page serves to provide you with a means to search all the annotations. Everything in the annotation window is searchable, including the cases that are referenced, the names of the individuals publishing annotations, and of course the text of the annotation itself. In this case, I'm going to search for my own annotations by searching for my name, Susan. All of the annotations that include my name will be displayed below. And finally, if there's any other questions, please feel free to call us at our toll-free number 1-877-727-6978, and we'll be happy to assist. There's also a great help menu on the top menu bar which provides other tutorials and videos describing the various features on our site.